All right, so hello class. Hope everything's good. I'm going to read the chapter we left off on in Auggie Me, and so where we left off, I think Christopher, Augie's friend that moved to another state, he went when Auggie had a serious surgery as a kid with his mom to visit him. He was only like 5 or 6, and when he was there, he got overwhelmed and ended up getting sick. And they walked out, and he felt really bad about things. But in Augie's room was a boy that was that flew there from another country. So the boy was all alone and didn't have anybody. So Christopher actually had his mom go and send the boy a toy that he had brought with him. So it showed that Chris was kind of really a nice kid, even though we see he's kind of a little bit snotty now towards his parents. But this chapter is called 7:04 p.m. And also, it's been a little while since I read. If you remember, Christopher's mom was in a car accident, and he kind of blamed himself because he'd forgotten some things at home, and she had to drive back to pick him up. So this is 7:04 p.m. When we got to Mom's hospital room, we found her sitting up in a wheelchair watching TV. She had a huge cast that started from her thigh and went all the way down to her ankle. "There's my guy," she said happily as soon as she saw me. She held her arms out to me, and I went over and hugged her. I was relieved to see that Daddy had told the truth, except for the cast and a few scratches on her face. Mom looked totally fine. She was dressed and ready to go. "How are you feeling, Lisa?" said Dad, leaning over and kissing her cheek. "Much better," she answered, clicking off the TV set. She smiled at us, totally ready to go home. "We got you these," I said, giving her a vase of flowers we had bought downstairs in the gift store. "Thank you, sweetie," she said, kissing me. "They're so pretty." I looked down at her cast. "Does it hurt?" I asked her. "Not too much," she answered quickly. "Mommy's very brave," said Dad. "What I am is lucky," Mom said, knocking the side of her head. "We're all very lucky," added Dad, quietly. He reached over and squeezed Mom's hand, and for a few seconds no one said anything. "So, do you need to sign any discharge papers or anything?" asked Dad. "All done," she answered. "I'm ready to go home." Dad got behind the wheelchair. "Wait, can I push her?" I said to Dad, grabbing one of the handles. "Let me just get her out the door," answered Dad. "It's a little hard to maneuver with her leg." "How was your day, Chris?" asked Mom as we wheeled her out into the hallway. I thought about what an awful day it had actually been. All of it, from beginning to end. Science, music, math, rock band. It was the worst day ever. "Fine," I answered. "How was band practice? Is Elijah being any nicer these days?" she asked. "It was good. He's fine," I shrugged. "I'm sorry I didn't bring your stuff," she said, stroking my arm. "You must have been wondering what happened to me." "I figured you were running errands," I answered. "He thought you went to Isabel's house," laughed Dad. "I did not," I said to him. We had reached the nurse's station, and Mom was saying goodbye to the nurses who were waving back, so she didn't really hear what Dad had said. "Didn't you ask me if Mom had gone to?" Dad said to me, confused. "Anyway," I interrupted, turning to Mom. "Band was fine. We're playing Seven Nation Army for the spring concert on Wednesday. Can you still come?" "Of course I can," she answered. "I thought you were playing the final countdown, though." "Seven Nation Army is a great song," said Dad. He started humming the bass line and playing air guitar as we waited for the elevator. Mom smiled at him. "I remember you playing that at the parlor." "What's the parlor?" I asked. It was a pub down the road from our dorm," answered Mom. "Before you were born, buddy," said Dad. The elevator doors opened and we got in. "Starving," I said. "You guys haven't eaten dinner yet?" Mom asked, looking up at Dad. "We came here straight from school," he answered. "When were we going to stop for dinner?" "Can we stop for some McDonald's on the way home?" I asked. "Sounds good to me," answered Dad. We reached the lobby and the elevator doors opened. "Now can I push the wheelchair?" I said. "Yep," he answered. "You guys wait for me over there, okay?" He pointed to the farthest exit on the left. "I'll pull the car around." He jogged out the front entrance toward the parking lot. I pushed Mom's wheelchair to where he pointed. "I can't believe it's still raining," said Mom, looking out the lobby windows. "I bet you could pop a wheelie on this thing," I said. "Hey, no," Mom screamed, squeezing the sides of the wheelchair as I tilted it backward. "Chris, I've had enough excitement for the day." I put the wheelchair down. "I'm sorry, Mom." I patted her head. She rubbed her eyes with the palms of her hand. Sorry, it's just been a really long day. Did you know that the day on did you know that one day on Pluto is 153.3 hours long? I asked. No, I didn't know that. We didn't say anything for a few minutes. Hey, did you give Auggie a call, by the way? She said, out of the blue. Mom, I groaned, shaking my head. What? She said. She tried to turn around in her wheelchair to look at me. I don't get it, Chris. Did you and Auggie have a fight or something? No, there's just so much going on right now. Chris, she sighed, but she sounded too tired to say anything else about it. I started humming the bass line of Seven Nation Army. After a few minutes, the red hatchback pulled up in front of the exit, and Dad jogged out of the car, holding an open umbrella. I pushed Mom outside the front doors. Dad gave her the umbrella to hold, and then he pushed her down the wheelchair ramp and around to the passenger side of the car. The wind was picking up now, and the umbrella Mom was holding went inside out after a strong gust. Chris, get inside, said Dad. He started picking Mom up under her arms to transfer her to the front seat of the car. Kind of nice being waited on, Mom joked, but I could tell she was in pain. Worth a broken femur? Dad joked back, out of breath. What's a femur? I asked, scooching into the back seat. The thigh bone, answered Dad. He was soaking wet by now as he tried to help Mom and find her seatbelt. Sounds like an animal, I answered. Lions and tigers and femurs. Mom tried to laugh at my joke, but she was sweating. Dad hurried around to the back of the car and spent a few minutes trying to figure out how to fold the wheelchair to get it inside. Then he came around to the driver's seat, sat down, and closed the door. We all kind of sat there quietly for a second, the wind and rain howling outside the windows. Then Dad started the car. We were all soaking wet. Mommy, I said, after we'd been driving a few minutes, when you got in the accident this morning, were you on your way home after dropping me off? Or were you driving back to school with my stuff? Mom took a second to answer. It's actually kind of a blur, honey, she answered, reaching her arm behind her so that I could take her hand. I squeezed her hand. Chris, said Dad, Mom's kind of tired. I don't think she wants to think about it right now, honestly. Oh, I just want to know. Chris, now it's not the time, said Dad, giving me a stern look in the rearview mirror. The only thing that's important is that everything worked out okay, that Mom's safe and sound, right? We have a lot to be thankful for. Today could have been so much worse. It took me a second to realize what he meant, and then when I did, I felt a shiver go up my spine. That's the end of that chapter. Hope everybody is doing well. Thanks for listening.